Welcome to another episode of Grahm Logic, brought to you by the Say What podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the new episode of Grahm Logic. This episode is a little different than other episodes, mainly because this is Halloween themed. So as you can see, I am, of course, going to dress up. I'm not going to show up to my job and not dress up. Now what happened was I went to the costume store and I said, yeah, I want to be a sailor because I have this sailor hat. I've always wanted to be a sailor for Halloween. And he said, sure, yeah, we've got something that'll fit you. I go the next day, and this is what they had for me. So I had to do it. I had to film the show. So I think it looks kind of good on me, actually. I fill it out just fine. As you can see, the set is decorated for Halloween, so enjoy that. Let's just jump right into it. Brad, from nowhere, he never listed where he wanted to be from, said, I hate trick-or-treaters, little brats begging for candy that I should be enjoying on my own. I want to scare the little buggers away so that they never come back. What scary ideas do you have for me? What I would do is, kids these days are smart, and they don't trick-or-treat as much as they used to, I guess. They're on their phones a lot, they're out partying, doing whatever they do, so if they do come to your house, they're looking for candy and they're not anticipating being scared, because it's very old school, being scared. Just get in the woods and throw rocks around, because nothing's scarier. The scariest things are what you can't see. So just start throwing rocks, don't worry about if one hits a kid or anything, that's all part of the learning, that's what happens when you grow up. So hide in the woods, throw some rocks, scream as loud as you can, and that will scare the children away. So definitely do that if you don't want any trick-or-treaters. Alyssa says, I live in a neighborhood that gets lots of trick-or-treaters, and I often run out of candy to pass out to the kids before the fun is over. I usually spend about $100, but I can't see myself spending more than that. How can I stretch my dollar, and what can I do to please the barrage of sugar-crazed children who walk away from my house empty-handed every Halloween? Cheaper options? Give me some advice. I understand what you're saying. Candy is expensive, like a lot of things. And if you're looking to stretch your dollar, but still please the trick-or-treaters, I would just start cutting candy in half. This is something that the kids are going to learn when they grow up. You can't get everything you want. So just start cutting the candy in half, thirds, whatever comes after thirds. Just give them small amounts. And if they don't like it, then they can piss off. Maybe create like a fighting ring. Say the winner, whoever gets beaten to a pulp, doesn't get like a Kit Kat bar. Something to really get these kids to want it and really make it so you save all the money you're spending on this candy. Just try a few options, section it up, make them fight for it. They have to work. They have to work to get this candy, and you have to be the one to initiate that. So, Alyssa, good luck this Halloween, and feel free to let us know how it works out for you. But if you spend more than $100 on candy that you aren't eating, you're insane, and you should go to a mental institution. Thanks. Next question from Madeline from St. Paul, Minnesota. I think my house is haunted. How can I be sure? Is there any way to determine if it's an evil spirit or a friendly ghost? Yep, very simple. I get this question a lot. I used to actually think that my house was haunted. But all you really need to do is just announce that you're pregnant out loud, and then call up Maury from that TV show and get him to come over with the test results and announce if the ghost is or is not the father. And if it is, and he walks, then that's an evil spirit. If he stays and he nurtures the child, that's a good ghost. That's really the only way you can tell, honestly. I don't know any other way to determine the validity of ghosts or spirits, unless they're your baby daddy. So, get Maury in on this. Not a question for me. Next question. This one comes from Damien. He asks, I've Googled this question and no one seems to know the answer to it. Obviously, you're a genius, so I'll ask you. Thanks, Damien. Why are parents so concerned with poison candy on Halloween night? My parents used to always check my candy before I ate it when I was younger, and no one really poisons candy these days, right? Even if it was, how would they know what to look for? Candy can't be poisoned. That's a lie. That's your parents trying to make you not have cavities so you don't eat the candy in the first place. Or they're trying to get the candy from you so they can eat it. Because they are tired of dealing with you as a child and they need something to calm their nerves, which is sugar. The best way I would be able to detect poison in candy is if you see the skull and crossbones on the candy. I think legally, if anything's poison, it has to have the skull and crossbones on it. If not, then that's some fraud somewhere. All I'll say is look for little poison warning labels, and if you can't find them, they're not there. So that's all I have to say, Damien. Thanks for your question. At of Taco Fame asks via Twitter, I love Halloween but hate Tony Romo. Do stand your ground laws apply to strangers dressed as Tony Romo? First of all, at of Taco Fame, I didn't even know who Tony Romo was before I got this. I had to look him up. I'm not a sports guy. Apparently he's the Cowboys quarterback. I don't know why you hate Tony Romo so much. I don't know why you want to shoot Tony Romo. I'm just going to turn this over to the local authorities. If you really don't like Tony Romo that much and you see a child dressed as Tony Romo, he at least deserves to be tackled for wearing a football costume on Halloween. That's literally what people go and do after school. They wear that after school. You gotta wear something that is unique, that is Halloween specific, that's something you don't normally wear. And football uniforms are worn all the time by a lot of people. If you do see someone dressed as Tony Romo, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Just tackle him. Maybe push them into a bush. Something minor. Something like that. Throw pocket sand in their eyes. Something like that. Ben Johnston from Florida asks, my wife wants to dress our toddler up as a pumpkin for Halloween. I want to dress him up as a zombie Viking. How do I win this argument? Your wife is most likely going to win the argument. She's going to want the child to be dressed as a pumpkin. Your suggestion of a zombie Viking, while I think that is fantastic, it probably won't work. So the only thing I can say is create a compromise. Maybe have him be a pumpkin zombie Viking, or maybe have him be a zombie Viking holding a pumpkin. You got to kind of meet him in the middle to do what you to get what you want in this. All I can say is dress your son the way you want him to be dressed, but not a pumpkin. A pumpkin is dumb. That is a vegetable. Don't dress your child up as a vegetable. You awful, awful parent. Thanks. Josh Bickford from Texas asks, I have a 16-year-old daughter who is showing an interest in these sexy costumes. Should I let this go, or should I ground her for the rest of her life? My answer to you, Josh, is simple. I am 100% against the sexy costumes. Now, as you can see, Josh, this is what your daughter, I believe, would end up looking like if she were to wear a sexy costume. So let this be a lesson. If this is what you want your daughter to look like, I mean, look at the amount of hair that I am showing alone right here. If this is what you want your daughter to look like, get her the sexy costume. But if you don't want her to look like this, pause the video. Get your daughter, sit her down and press play and let her watch the rest of this video and say, do you want to look like this? Because that's what you're going to look like if you wear a sexy costume. Sexy costumes are not meant for anyone. Any costume you wear that is not a sexy costume is sexy because you're being you. Don't be me. Don't be like this. Well, that's it for the Halloween-themed episode of Grahm Logic. This was an interesting one. This definitely tested some boundaries that both the crew and myself have, but I think it went well. If you enjoy the Grahm Logic series presented by the Say What Podcast, you can actually go to saywhatpodcast.com, and there's actually a hashtag that's going to be right over here somewhere. This is Grahm Logic. If you have any advice or you want to have any questions in the future that you want me to answer, just tweet to that hashtag, or at Say What Podcast on the Twitter, or at Graham Kwasnick, which is me. I am actually gonna go, and because today is Halloween, so I'm gonna go fill this up with candy or restraining orders. So let's go find out which one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.